How are you? Good. Lieutenant Murgo.
Nice to meet you.
Good. What's going on?
You tell me. This is a church.
Correct.
We're protected by federal law and state law. It is a place of sanctuary and refuge.
Okay. I understand
Your
that.
officer came inside and arrested a young man that was in there. And they have no authority in that building to do any such thing. Period.
You realize that he's a domestic violence felony suspect.
I do, Lieutenant Murgo. And you realize that you see on the news all the time people taking sanctuary, refuge in a church, and even the federal law can't come in and get them because this place is a protected place.
I understand that.
Yes.
You understand that he assaulted his mother to the fact that she's at the hospital now. We have a domestic violence victim at the hospital. And he's a felony suspect that was wanted for, amongst other things, assault in the second degree, interfering with a 911 emergency phone call. His family is terrified of him, okay? I understand what you're saying, all right? But if there
have
has
to be this way, you don't get to violate the law to enforce the law. You don't get to do that.
But
I asked them to wait 5 minutes.
We don't have that
5 minutes. Oh,
we don't
yes,
have that time.
You do. Yes, you do.
Ma'am,
yes, you do.
I understand what you're saying. You're very passionate about this, and I get it. I totally respect that, and this is no disrespect to the church. With that being said, with that being said, ma'am, with that being said, if there's going to be a mistake here, we're going to err on the side of caution.
Good.
And we're going to apprehend the suspect.
And you could have waited because they knew I was 5 minutes away.
Ma'am, you have nothing to do. You have nothing to do with a felony assault that took place.
I do when the person that's being charged is in my church.
We don't owe anything to the victim?
I have everything to do with it.
We don't owe anything to the victim?
When the person being charged is in my church.
We don't have anything. We don't have anything owed to the victim here. That's the thing here, and I understand.
Listen, I understand what you're saying, but what you don't seem to want to hear is that you didn't have the authority to do that.
Do what?
Come into this church and arrest anybody. That young man could have been counseled by his pastor to walk out the door of that church, meet you in the parking lot.
And do you think that's what would have happened?
I do, because this is how it's supposed to work.
Okay, but
how
it's supposed to work,
come in.
Ma'am, how it's supposed to work and how these things actually work are two different things, okay? So
Listen, I wasn't born yesterday, and I'm not appreciating this at all.
I get it.
I'm not appreciating this. I respect your work.
I'm just letting you know where
I
our
am not
stance is.
stupid.
I'm just letting you know where our stance is.
I understand. You want to arrest the domestic violence perpetrator. I understand that.
Okay.
I get that.
Thank you.
I get that. I was a hospital chaplain at a regional trauma center for years.
Okay.
You want to know how much domestic violence I've seen? Much more than you've seen, probably.
Hopefully a lot, okay?
Much more than you've seen.
I understand
that
what you're saying.
young man is safe in that building, and until he comes out on his own, you have no authority.
Well,
you violated the law.
We violated the law.
You did.
Ma'am, I'm sorry,
you
but
did.
in this situation, all right, it was the better play for us to apprehend a violent suspect.
It is not.
It was our only play. It was our only play at that point.
The young man would have walked out that door and turned himself in.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Just
ask away.
Do you think that in the real world, how your theory would have actually happened?
Do you have any idea about the relationship I have with that young man? No, you don't. Not one bit. All you see is the bad guy. That's all you see, and you're going to take him away.
We have a victim that's at the hospital.
And I respect that. And I respect his rights, too. And what you didn't respect his rights at all.
Okay. Well,
he had the right to be in there, waiting for his pastor to come in a safe place, sheltered, so that he could be counseled about what to do next.
He was arrested for a violent felony.
I understand.
Okay.
And that arrest could have been made outside the church.
Had we just
legally.
had we just walked away, just answer. Had we just walked away?
Nobody asked you to walk away. I asked him to wait. Wait. And look at all the time now you have to stand here in this parking lot and argue with me, but you didn't have 5 minutes to wait.
I had 3 officers that just went to another domestic violence incident, lights and sirens, while we were here.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
At this point, we have him in custody.
It does not justify you doing what you did.
I'm just trying to talk to try to make people understand our...
I know what you did. I understand what you did. What you don't seem to understand is what you did is illegal.
I understand
that's the part you guys just have the barrier up. You don't get to do that. I could have walked him out and put him in your custody. He could have walked out on his own.
How do you know that you weren't in danger, ma'am?
I know.
How?
I know.
How?
I know
because
this young
knows
man.
The young man.
I know him, and you don't.
This young man.
And there are a lot of people.
The only
who know
thing that
this
we
young
know
man.
about this young man is that he assaulted his mother to the point where she had to go to the hospital. That he ripped the phone out of her hands and assaulted her with it. He hit her with the phone. Okay? We have a violent domestic while she's trying to dial 911. He interfered with all of that.
Yes,
okay?
he told me he did that.
All right, so I understand that.
I understand the meaning of the word sanctuary.
I understand that.
No, you don't.
Place.
It means you don't have.
Exactly.
You have zero rights in that building. Zero rights. I don't care who let you in. Nobody told you to arrest that man.
Ma'am,
nobody invited you in to arrest that man.
The rest of his family at this point is not in danger anymore?
And this
okay,
church,
so I'm sorry that we may have violated...
You be sorry all you want. You have not heard the end of this. It's going to get ugly. You didn't have the right to do that.
Ma'am, we had to take a domestic
and
violence suspect into custody.
Yes, you do.
Okay?
Of course you do.
We had that duty.
Of course you do. And
okay?
it's not either or like you want to make it. It's not either or like you would like it to be.
I'm just telling you that that's the safer play.
It's not either or the way you'd like to play it out to be. The reality is that is a sanctuary and you have no authority.
We didn't force our way into the church.
You didn't. But you were asked by the pastor of the church not to do that, to wait. I was 5 minutes away.
But we don't, our timeline isn't on whether or not the pastor is 5 or 10 minutes away.
You've got all this time.
Once he's in custody. Once he's in custody, yes.
He was going nowhere. He was going nowhere.
How can you say that? And what if he did?
He walked out of the building. You could have
wasn't unaccounted
What if he did? Then we have a family that's terrified.
I'm done with this.
Why?
You were here. He was here.
Okay.
If he had walked out of the building,
right.
you had every right to arrest him. When he's in that building, you
have no
rights.
authority. None.
We did not force our way into the church.
I didn't say you did.
Nobody
invited you to come in. They opened the door for you. You come in with all your authority that you don't have, and they don't know you don't have any authority, but you know you don't have any, and you exercise it anyway.
Any authority to arrest a felony
You
suspect?
have no authority in that building.
Okay.
I am the pastor of this church. I asked him to wait. Not happening today. You violated your own authority. You violated the law that you are supposed to be enforcing.
Okay.
And that's not okay.
All right.
That is not okay.
His family is a little bit safer because he's now in custody.
The whole world is safer. And you want to know something? Everybody in this church was just fine. There have been a whole bunch of people here all day. The young man didn't touch anybody.
We're forgetting that there's a victim here, ma'am.
He was sitting and doing a puzzle. I am not forgetting anything. You're forgetting that is a church.
We're forgetting that there's a domestic violence victim that's in the hospital right now that was assaulted with a phone.
I'm not forgetting anything.
Okay.
The young man would have been counseled by his pastor to call an attorney, to go out and turn himself in to the police.
At that point,
for you to come in,
turning himself in is off the table at that point, ma'am.
For you to come in and arrest him in that church is a violation of his rights.
Violation
of his rights. Yes, because you want to know something? Even people in jail, even people in prison have rights.
Ma'am, please.
Even people in prison have rights.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have rights.
He had every right to sit at that church without being arrested in the church. That is his right in this country. That is his right.
Well, at that point,
you don't have to like it.
We had to apprehend the suspect, and that's that. All right?